Welcome to the Local Real Estate Show. Join us each week as we hear from local real estate professionals from around the country. We'll hear their stories, get their advice on the current market trends to the best ways to get the most out of your real estate purchases, sales, or investments. Whether you're just getting started and buying your first home or you are a seasoned real estate investor, there's something here for everyone. So buckle up and get ready to hear from the people who know the real estate industry the best. Now your host, Steve Champagne.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Local Real Estate Show. I have a very special guest. Today, we're going to be interviewing Chrissa Hartle from Contre Management. Welcome to the show, Chrissa.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you on. So let's get right into it. So why don't you just give me a little bit of brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, I am a real estate broker here in Texas and also in Colorado.
Fantastic.
Been doing property management for almost 10 years now, but started my real estate career way earlier than that, just kind of working my way up in the industry. I started just as secretary and now I'm an owner. So it's awesome.
So you done real estate, but now you have a property management company. So why did you start your property management company?
I think opportunity, right? Opportunity knocked. I got into the business and just fell in love with it because I think it gives me that opportunity to have a little more long-term relationship, right? With either my clients or customers, whichever side of it is. But I think I love the longevity of it, right? So I feel like I always say I'm married to my clients because I don't just do one deal, with investors. We're going to be with them hopefully for decades.
Okay. You've been doing real estate like 5-7 years, but how long have you been doing property management specifically?
So property management started about 10 years ago.
Okay. Why is property management important?
Well, yeah, for a landlord, I think that having, and a landlord can do property management themselves, right? But I think that it's important because, property managers are our whole purpose is to have the look over operational, the maintenance, the longevity of a property. I feel like in general, I feel that the accountability, right? We're accountable for the long-term lifespan of that property. So I think it's important for, again, an investor long-term gain is to have that knowledge of a property manager and understanding that and legal sides and everything, depending on what state you're in.
Okay. So, you gave me some questions that we were kind of run through during this interview today. So landlords, do they need to provide a selection criteria when it comes to listing their property?
Absolutely. This is very important. Providing that selection criteria, what it does is not only, gives that at the very beginning what you're looking at, right?
Right.
The expectation of what that person is applying for. But if you don't provide that in writing somehow and you deny somebody, then their application fee is actually refundable. Even if you say it's not refundable, if you don't provide those application guidelines, is what we call them, then you could, have to provide that back to them.
Okay. Rents. How much can a landlord increase their rents on an annual basis?
In the state of Texas, there's not an actual defined line of exact how much.
Okay.
We here do, about a 5%. But really what it comes down to is when you increase, you're looking at when your contract expires, right? At that point in time, giving that notice ahead of time expires. If you're in a month to month, then you need to give that 30-day notice. But I think with the way the market is, and, you've seen some massive increases on property taxes and cost of insurance. So, you may have had to go over that 5% this year, but I think overall we kind of try to stick on an average of 5%.
Okay. Does a landlord have to provide a grace period in which rent can be paid late without penalty in Texas?
Yes, in Texas. Absolutely. So I call it the rule of four. But
Okay.
basically what it is if your rent is due, let's say on the first of the month, you automatically have to give 2 days of grace period before you can start collecting on those late fees. So, doing the first day four, the fourth of the month, that's when the late fees start. And then
Okay.
you also have a cap on how much you can charge in late fees. So state of Texas caps that at 12% for a single family home, of 12% of the monthly rent. It's different with apartments, it's 10, but it's that 12% gap. So day four, late fees start, and they cap at 12% of 1 month's rent. That's as much in late fees.
Okay, great. So that was my next question. How much can a landlord charge in late fees? And basically it's 12%.
12%
Okay.
for a single family residential, up to I think 4 units. So
Okay. What is the landlord's duty when it comes to repairs and remedies as far as items in a unit?
So in Texas, you have the health and safety. That's your main focus, right? Health
Mhm.
and safety of your tenant. You need to make sure that that is always in the forefront, right? So on your repairs and maintenance, is it health and safety? Um, Outside of that, it depends on the landlord, kind of how, your clientele, what is your home. You do not have to actually repair something if it's not on the health and safety of that tenant.
Mhm.
And I think the example of that would be, if that dishwasher doesn't necessarily mean that that's a health and safety item if that dishwasher goes out, right?
Mhm.
Now, best practices, the way I would do it, I'm still going to, we provided the dishwasher in working condition. I need to keep it in working condition as long as it's nothing that is a tenant negligence.
Okay. Can the landlord refuse to rent to a family just because they have children?
No.
Okay. Can you go in?
No.
Can you go
Yes, I
expand
will
about that a little bit more?
absolutely. Yeah. So your that would be your Federal Fair Housing Act,
Mhm.
anti-discrimination against families. You can't do that. I know that I've heard over the years, it's kind of the world of property management, lots of stories,
Mhm.
but where children, do cause just, a lot of damage as well, small children especially.
Mhm.
But no, you cannot, not unless you're in maybe a 55 and up, type of retirement community, if the community actually has some stipulations in that sense. But
Mhm.
as a whole, no, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay. What security devices are required on a property?
So there's several. So your
Okay.
windows need to be able to be locked. Your sliding glass doors needs pins. They're called pin locks or
Mm.
bars, actually both,
Okay.
or latch. You have on your doors. You want to have every door needs to have that key, exterior door, key lock.
Mhm.
Where most landlords don't know that it's Texas property code, you also have to have what they call a keyless bolting device. So on
Okay.
any exterior door, where that kind of comes into play is on your door to your garage.
Mhm.
Any door that goes to the exterior has to have a keyless. So there's lots of different options out there, but that
Mhm.
it's not your key deadbolt, it's a keyless. And the idea is that tenant, if somebody was to come in that home, they could lock themselves in the home without access. So
Okay.
making sure you have that on your doors, and then having a viewing port on every exterior door. So that's a peephole or a window,
Mhm.
but that
Okay.
also is the door to your garage.
Okay. All right. Should a landlord rekey the property every time there's a tenant change?
Yes. So
Okay.
I think best practices is you're going to rekey your property. We typically keep it on, we show the property, but if anybody's ever had access to that key other than the tenant and your
Mhm.
management staff, landlord,
Mhm.
you need to rekey, but you have to do it within 7 days of them moving in, the new tenant.
Okay.
Again, our best practice is to do it pretty much the day before that we have new
Okay.
tenants moving in.
Okay. Should a landlord be concerned about smoke detectors and gas detectors?
Yeah, so that goes back to that health and safety, right?
Yeah.
You need to be, cognizant of those, make sure they're in working condition whenever you go to release the home. Now, with that
Mhm.
being said, when your tenant is in the home, it is their responsibility at that point, as long as you provide it in working condition, to check batteries, make sure that they're attached. They don't pull them down because they're annoying in the middle of the night and not put them
Mhm.
back.
Yep.
And if you have gas in the home, gas stoves, something, then you have to have that carbon monoxide detector as well.
Okay. Very good. So when you're looking to work with a landlord, how are you determining the fair market rent value for your landlords?
So it's very similar to how, even if putting a house for sale, right?
Yep.
So you're pulling up in your market. I think where the difference comes in is we use, we're going to use your multiple listing service to kind of see what's out there, MLS,
Mhm.
Zillow, things like that. But it's more, you're looking at in a sense, a region or an area. So in a home that's for rent, I typically start with the community it's within.
Mhm.
But depending on your market, some cities here around where we're at, the school district is the pooler. So
Mhm.
you can really just put in school district homes in within that school district and use that as my base. It really
Mhm.
just depends. But I think knowing your market and what is the draw
Mhm.
for those rental homes can give you down to, is it a community, is it a city, or is it a school district, or what? when you comp for a lease.
Okay. So if a landlord doesn't want to work with a property management company, how can they screen possible tenants themselves?
There's a wonderful online, so TransUnion actually provides, it's called Smart Move.
Okay.
If you go to Smart Move, I think smartmove.com, you
Mhm.
can pay for it as a landlord side. You actually can also use it where it'll send an email to your applicant and they can pay for it themselves directly. So
Mhm.
you don't even have to necessarily take funds for application on that side, but it will run that credit report for you.
Okay. Just a couple more questions. When should you market a rental property? When is a good time to put the rental property on market
Yeah.
in your market?
And yeah, in my market, it's typically summer, April, May, and June, right?
Mhm.
That's kind of my sweet spot. And typically it has to revolve around schools. But
Okay.
again, I think it depends on your market, where you're at. But again, I think knowing that as a real estate agent as a whole or a real estate broker, having that
Mhm.
knowledge of your market area,
Mhm.
seeing what is the main pool in, if it's an industry, whatever. But yeah, I like, I think a lot of move happens during the summer. So when kids are in and out of school, people tend to move
Okay.
between that.
Where I'm currently at, and pretty much by November, things tend to slow down and don't pick back up till March. So,
Hmm.
kind of probably the same. Okay. All right. What are some of the common things that get landlords into trouble and basically get sued?
Get sued. Yeah. So I would always caution a client or a landlord.
Mhm.
So some of them, you're really, a lot of it revolves around those security deposits, right?
Okay.
So making sure that you're taking care of those security deposits legally. So part of that is making sure that it's actually used. Not commingling it. It is not your
Mhm.
money in the beginning.
Yep.
Having it side. So yeah, you can get into probably a lot more with that, providing that itemized list of what you deducted, making sure that it is over the normal wear and tear of the
Mhm.
property. So to understand normal wear and tear, you've got to look at how long the tenants,
Mhm.
how much was the use, all those things. But I mean, just paying attention to that and
Mhm.
understanding. The Texas actually has a Texas Rights Handbook you can find online,
Mhm.
and the Tenants Right Handbook, sorry. And
Okay.
so that's a great tool for any landlord to look in
Mhm.
reverse. Go look
Okay.
that up; it's free. So.
All right, great. Just a couple more questions and we'll wrap up this interview today, Chrissa. What makes you different from your competition? Why should a landlord who's looking to hire a property management company use you over, say, another company?
We're the best. No,
All
I
right, give me a
think
little bit more than that.
that no, I think that with our company, I could say that we look at you, it's a little more personalized approach, right? So
Okay.
we're going to look at your situation, or a little give landlords a little more control, or I guess you'd
Hmm.
say as much control as they
Hmm.
really are feel comfortable with. And I think that's what makes us stand out, is that you're not just handing over and having to have this blind faith that everything's going to be taken care of and you have no say so.
Yep.
We give that say so. So landlords actually sign their tenants. They actually are the ones that do the official approval of those applications. So now, you may not want that. We can do that too. But I think that it's important, because in the long run, we are a partner with our
Hmm.
clients. And so this is long term, and we want to build that confidence and let them feel like they have that control, but they also have that guidance.
Okay, Krista. Well, first of all, thanks for coming on the show today. So if someone wants to get a hold of you as far as hiring you to be their property manager, where can they find out more information about your
Yeah.
services?
So you can go to our website.
Hmm.
So contremanagement.com. It's a
Hmm.
great first stop. You can find us on Facebook. You can also always call. I mean, just our phone number. So it's 817
Hmm.
798 9118. That is our office number. And because the business, we do answer on weekends. It is
Okay.
there.
Okay, folks. This wraps up this interview today with Krissa. Until the next time, make it a great day. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
You have been listening to the Local Real Estate Show. If you are a real estate agent, a mortgage broker, or a closing company and would like to be a guest on an upcoming show, please visit thelocalrealestateshow.com for more information. Thanks for listening.